lot to lose. He's a pretty nice fella, but he's kinda confused. He got a lot of muscles in his head that he ain't never used. Thinks he owns half of this town. Starts drinking heavy, gets a big red nose, beats his old lady with a rubber hose, takes it out to dinner, buys her new clothes. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. There's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. I was sitting in the bathtub counting my toes when the radiator broke and all the water froze. I got stuck in the ice without my clothes, naked in the eyes of a clown. Well, I was crying ice cubes, I hope I'd croak when the sun came through the window and all the ice broke. I stood up and laughed, thought it was a joke, thought it was the way the world goes round. Well, that's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're down. That's the way that the world goes round. Well, that's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water, you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. Well, that's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. Well, that's the way that the world goes round. You're up one day, next you're down. It's a half an inch of water, think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. Yeah, that's the way that the world goes round. Yeah, that's the way that the world goes round. Good morning. In the woodshed with Brian. Yeah. Kind of a neat song. First verse wasn't. Excuse me for hitting the mic there. Audio, sorry. Hit that with my harmonica holder if everybody wants to know what happened. Yeah. It's quite the song. Again, how songs relate to us is a major, major point in why I do these things. And today, you know, if you really think about it, that's the way. Yep, that's the way. That's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day, the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. Pretty simple song. But boy, what meaning, huh? What meaning it comes out of this when you really think about that's the way. In other words, wow, I think I found it. I found the way. Oops, wait a minute. No, maybe this one's the way. Oops, wait a minute. No guy has got a lot to lose. news. It's a pretty nice fella. He's kinda confused. Oh my goodness, I could stop right here. He's, well, I don't know about the nice guy part, but he's confused part, yeah. He's got muscles in his head that he's never used. No, we don't have to go there, do we? Do we have to go there? Muscles in his head? Yeah, you're right. Thinks he owns half of this town. That one time in my life, I was the only one that was right. Oh, no. What do you mean I still think that way? Come on, anybody that knows me right now, come on. Yeah, you know, I'm having a hard time. But, you know, really, I'm getting over it. Anyway. So this guy shouldn't do one of these things. Talks about him drinking, doing stuff that he shouldn't be doing. And that's what happens when you do stuff you shouldn't be doing. And this guy went so far as starts drinking heavy, gets a big red nose. Then he beats his wife with a rubber hose. Then he takes her out to dinner, buys her new clothes. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and then you're down. It's a half an inch of water. You think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. And so, in other words, you're going to do things you shouldn't want to do. Don't ever do anything like that. But that's the song. I'm just telling you, in the song, it just shows you that there's things that's going to happen in your life that really you shouldn't do. And when you do them, then you better get over it. You know, don't do them again. Learn your lesson first time. I wish I did. And that's why I said at the beginning, do it again and again. Because, yeah, that's the way the world goes round, all right. But could you imagine? I mean, the song gets kind of funny after the really serious part there. Can you imagine? I mean, I thought about this when I was singing it. Sitting in the bathtub, you know. Well, I was sitting in the bathtub, counting my toes when the radiator broke. The water all froze. I got stuck in the ice without my clothes, naked as the eyes of a clown. I was crying ice cubes, I hoping I croak. When the sun came through the window, all the ice broke. I stood up and laughed, I thought it all was a joke. That's the way that the world goes round. In other words, he didn't get up and start screaming and hollering and yelling and rallying and blaming other people for what just happened to him. Wait a minute, did I touch a nerve there, people? Okay, let me change it. It happened to them. In other words, it could be anyone. The song was particular about a man. It could be about anyone. And what happens when this happens? You stand up and you just shake it off. And you just say, wow, I'm pretty glad I'm not dead. I'm glad the sun came in. Again. Something you weren't expecting was able to happen. So you can see it all works out in the end if you think positively. And what happens if you do? Well, that's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. So, if I caught a nerve, I'm sorry. But I'm talking to you. And that's what bodymindredesign.com is all about. It's about you. Body and Mind Redesign at Gmail is where you can get a hold of me. Text me. Email me, I mean. It's the only way you can get a hold of me. If you want to, I'll get back to you. If you'd like me to play a certain song, let me know. I'll try to learn it. If you want to talk about a certain subject, let me know. I'll definitely talk about that. And what this all is about is, it's what the world's all about. That's what it's about, really. That's what the world goes around. Just think about it. That's the way the world goes round. You're up one day and the next you're down. And you think about all it took. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's all it took was a half an inch of water. And you think you're gonna drown. Well, that's the way that the world goes round. And so if you want to have a better time with your life, sit back, find your way to get through any of these problems that you're going to have. And when they do happen, just don't let them get to you to the point where it's inside of you and you're dwelling on it and you're festering upon it. Look at the positive side. Whatever positive part there is, how small it is, how minuscule it is. Just do it. You'll see the difference. And when someone comes in the room, tell them how good you feel. Yeah, I'm feeling, I got all this crap going on. But I'll be okay, be positive about it. Or you, just you're at home, kids come in the room. You just had your 10th drink. You don't want the kids around. You don't want anybody around. You just want to be by yourself. Yeah. How's it feel to be in the bathtub full of ice? We're almost not going to be able to get out because there's no sun coming in. So you better watch it. In other words, not everything comes out right. All depends on how you look at it. So if you keep going bad, what do you think's going to happen? Your whole life's going to keep going down that road. And only one thing at a time. That's what I keep saying. Just one. Just got to start one little thing. How small it is, how minuscule you can find a positive thing about anything. And see what happens. See how you feel. See how different it is. Come on, huh? We have situations all the time. Just talking with your mate, talking with your people at work, stopping at a red light, and come on, huh? Road rage, there's all kinds of things that we could start talking about, but we don't need to. Because you know what you're talking about, you know what your problem is, and you know why you're looking at this. It's, hope you're here to, listen to some music. I'm trying as hard as I can to get new songs every day and learning things, and they're not always perfect, which they aren't, because I'm just learning them myself, but they go into my pile. And I learn them a little bit better each time I play them. And as I play them more and more, I feel better about them. So just like life, it's a progression to it. You have to start somewhere, though. And believe me, with the amount of papers I have, I just figured out how to put something on a computer. I don't want to try to put it on a computer. Just use that instead of papers so that I can not have all these papers fly all over the place. I could bring my little laptop with me or whatever. But then again, you got to worry about internet and all that other stuff. So, you have to be prepared. Again, you have to be ready. It's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day, and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water. You think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. So when you're getting those thoughts in your head, that it's only half an inch of water, I'm going to drown. Now, could you drown in a half? Yes, you could drown in a half inch of water. I'm not saying you couldn't. But what this song's getting at, it's going to get much deeper before it gets over. So just don't worry about that half inch yet, will you? That's basically what this is saying. And if you look at it like that, again, that's a positive way to look at it. Okay, it's going to get worse. So that's not bad, only a half inch, That's the way that the world goes around. Up one day and the next you're down. Because you're not always thinking straight. When you're up, one day down. Well, yep, you're down. Some of us more than others. But we all go through that. Not just day. Some of us minute. Some of us seconds. But what it takes is for us to look at it and go, okay, breathe, settle down, okay. That's the way. I found it. One thing I got to do. Okay, that's the way. For you. Now you can go on my website. I've got over 200, going on 225 now, I guess, videos. You can look at all kinds of different subjects, all kinds of things, just little tips and things that you can look at or whatever. My older videos, the ones where it was just before I started this podcast, they're all videos of something just specifically about a subject. And that's what I'm going to be doing as well. As soon as I get enough music behind me where I can, not worry about it. But it's fun learning new songs. That's the way that the world goes around. You're up and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. And the thing about that part right there, half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. Put anything in there. Whatever your problem is, put it right in there. Well, that's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of bourbon and then you drown. I mean, come on. It's a $4 set and you think you're going to drown. You can put anything in there. Any of your problems. And see, I just laughed after it because not at the problem, but at the fact that that's what life is. We all have our own individual problems. And we have to learn what our own individual problem is. And when we do, it gets easier for us to get it together. That's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water. You think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes around. So in other words, be good. 3 things I gotta tell you. Be good. That's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. Be true to yourself. Don't forget, true to yourself. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. That's the way that the world goes around. You're up and then you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. Well, that's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. So remember, be good, stay true to yourself. That's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. There's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. And don't forget that one other thing. That's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way the world forget, iHeart, Spotify, YouTube, all podcasts. Please subscribe to YouTube, Facebook, right at the bottom of the page here. Just go that subscribe wherever you are so we can keep track of what's going on. I really appreciate that. That's the way that the world goes around. You're up one day and the next you're down. It's a half an inch of water and you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. Adios! Have a good day, everybody. That's the way that the world goes around. And you next you're down. It's half an inch of water, you think you're gonna drown. That's the way that the world goes round. Adios, everybody. Adios.